On your stories, you cook a lot, you do a lot of things, but I'm interested in knowing what is your favorite recipe to make.
Mm. Um, are we being healthy or are we being not healthy?
It's up to you. What's your favorite recipe to
So
make?
if it's not healthy, it's gonna be probably like oxtails or something like that.
Oh,
Like
yes.
smothered oxtails with the green onions, all the good stuff, rice. And some people don't like it, but sweet peas go really good with oxtails.
I have
Cornbread.
never had sweet peas and oxtails.
And look, it's my dad's fault. Like my dad put me on a long time ago, and I just been like keeping it going.
Okay. Well, welcome to another episode of Take a Space Podcast. I am your host, Leah, and joined this week by Chase. Welcome, King Callen P.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So tell the audience a little bit about you. I know you have 1,001 things going on, and you're almost in every industry. We're just
I'm
watching
not.
your page.
I'm not. So a little bit about me. I'm from Beaumont, Texas. It's a very small town southeast of Houston. Like 2 hours away. But no, man, I come from a small town. I'm an electrical engineer by trade. I went to Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, on a jazz scholarship, jazz marching band scholarship. Still love that to the utmost. And yeah, I mean, I do what I have to do. That's pretty much what I do. That's all it really is.
So, in watching your IG page and your stories and your posts that you make, it's like you podcast, you do electrical work, you have fixed water pipes, you have fixed cars,
Yeah.
you're teaching people how to actually wash their car. Like what motivates you? In this series, we talk about being the jack of all trades and master of none, but better is the master. Better. Wait, hold on. Jack of all trades, master of
Hmm.
none, but better than the master of one. I was like, there's it's a
Yeah,
full embrace, but
and so I would say that. So I'm 33 years old now, right?
mhm.
And in my life, I've had a lot of like issues that weren't like my fault. Like I've had several back surgeries. I had 12 laser surgeries in Chicago. I had two invasive planned surgeries in Houston that led to an 8 month recovery period. And then I had a emergency procedure right before because I wasn't healing properly. And when you go through something of that magnitude,
Mhm.
it changes the type of person you are,
Mm.
and you don't really know exactly how those changes will manifest. Um, and so in my case, once I sat down for like 8 months and I couldn't work out, and I kind of watched myself waste away because I was like really big, still am, and I'm getting back. Big, as far as like working out and like just maintaining, because it was my mental maintenance, right? It was my way of dealing with all the crazy things in corporate America and things of that nature. So that was kind of my reason for going that route.
Mhm.
And when I say going that route, I don't mean like, oh, I plan to do that. What you guys see on Instagram is what I have to do. So we're all adults, right? And if you have a lot of passions, or you have a lot of dreams, or you have a lot of things that you would like to accomplish while you're here. See, unfortunately, when I was sitting down, I had a lot of time to think about what would you do if you had, like, because I didn't know if I was gonna make it. I didn't know, because I kept on bleeding. I just wouldn't
Oh,
stop.
wow.
I wouldn't stop bleeding. So if you're in a room a lot, the room smells like death, and you're trying to figure out what would you do. The doctors tell you that you won't be able to do this anymore. Clearly doing it. Clearly doing it.
Hmm.
Um, because I had 13 wounds, kind of like under my arms, my lower back. I had a cyst in my lower back. I have what's called hidradenitis suppurativa, which is it's very low percentage of people that are affected by it, but very big cause of depression, anxiety. Some people commit suicide,
Yeah.
right? So because it's something that you can deal, you can't. They don't really have a cure for it. They don't really have proper treatment. Like they tell you to reduce your stress, blah blah blah. I'm an electrical engineer, yo. Stressful every
Like,
day,
how do we do that exactly?
and also I'm black, so we can
Yeah.
just write
I
that off.
mean, yeah.
Right. So those are the reasons why it's like if you're in an incubator, right, for a
Hmm.
period of time, and then once you're out of the incubator, if you don't do if you don't do right by God and just be like, I'm a every day, I'm a like I'm gonna do what I can. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And it's no knock to anybody because everybody should be. I think everybody is either doing what they can or a piece of it. Well, hey, going to work is cool, but you could do more. Because it's something that you probably want to do, right? That you're not doing, and you could do more. And we all, because I know I've been in that same rut where it's like I don't necessarily feel like doing more. I don't feel, I don't have an urge, or I don't think I can, or something like that. But what you guys see? You saw water pipes when we had to freeze. I fixed that while I was, stuck at home. I installed a soft water system. 1973 Corvette has been completely taken apart, frame, body dislocated, and now I'm halfway working through that. Headers and exhaust on a Z06 Corvette, did that myself. After surgery, I put my exhaust on my Jeep with a wound vac on. I built this music studio in here. I built these. I don't know if you can see them, but these panels are all done by hand. So the point is not really like it's about what did I need to do, and from a cost effective standpoint, the best way to accomplish this is to do it yourself. It may take more time, but we all have bills. I'm 33. I got bills, right? So what I
Tell me
try to
about
show people is like, hey, if you do this thing, whatever it is you got to do yourself, you will save this amount of money, right?
it.
Don't
Hmm.
pay attention to a Corvette. Don't pay attention to a Jeep, or whatever the hell I got. Don't worry about, because
Hmm.
it ain't much in the grand scheme of everybody else. Pay attention to the actual lesson. And the lesson is not what I'm doing. It's that I'm doing something.
And that's what I feel like every time every time you come up on my feed, every time I go to your page, I'm like, all right, it's time for me to get off Instagram. I gotta go do something. Like whatever I'm thinking about, it's time for me to write. It's time for me to go ahead and get some
Right.
posts out. It's time for me to, go ahead and make that phone call or do that thing because you just seem like that person that kind of radiates that let's get it done kind of energy.
Yeah, and I think I've been a number of my friends kind of, I guess I ain't gonna say they see that, but a friend of mine explained it as I'm in my field tending to my crops.
That's a very
And
good way to put it. Yeah.
the reasoning for that is like, see, I'm not just doing things. Like if you're a random person, you may just look like, oh, he's just doing stuff. I've been working towards something the whole time. There was a
Yeah.
very long list of things to do, very long. And I've been literally checking off things. And during COVID and me being, well, I'm 33 years old, they tell like it's like what, a holy year or something like that. But it's like,
Yeah, they say, "Oh, this is my Jesus year." Yeah, I've heard that.
so before the year started, I said I'm going to set up, because last year, what happens is if you start on this road of like completion, or
Hmm.
road of like one, self enlightenment, because I've been on that road. But if you get into a point of actually, starting to get into yourself a little bit more, um, you start learning from what you're learning from. Prime example: these panels. I told my dad about it. I At one point I just came from Dallas for a wedding, but I wanted my panels complete before I went to Miami because of my job is ramping up. I got a new position. I got promoted. Blah blah blah. So I have
Oh,
to be ready.
congratulations.
Appreciate it. I have to be ready to chill out a little bit, right? So
Mm-hmm.
let me get these things done. So the point of it is, long story short, there was one side of it that I measured 4 times and I cut it once. And it was off by 3/16 of an inch. Now, what does that mean? It doesn't really, okay, you messed up, but what does that mean? It means that one, you must have wasn't present. Very big deal. Presence is key in everything you do.
Absolutely.
The amount of presence will beget the result. So I wasn't present, but that also means that now you just wasted however much that piece of wood cost because you cut it 3/16 too short. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
those lessons cascade into other regions. You see what I'm saying? So you're gonna remember next time, not only when you cutting, that I need to make sure that I'm present, but I'm gonna think about it probably whenever I'm doing something I already spent money on. Let me make sure, you know what I'm saying? So the things that you do, they cascade. And then you also have the confidence. For me, I'm not really an ego person. I'm not egotistical at all. I work off of completion. So if I can look back and be like, damn, I did all that. What can I not do? What can I do? You can't tell me nothing I can't do.
But I think that's a mindset that a lot of people don't really adopt because of that lack of completion. I feel like a lot of people, there's like some kind of, I don't know if it's serotonin, dopamine, whatever it is, that feeling that you get when something's done. Like you said, you have this list and you're checking off things to work toward this greater purpose that you're working toward, whether you're working on yourself or working on something outside of yourself, whether it be a car, a house, a
Yeah.
relationship, a job. But asking yourself the question, what can I not do, is something that I don't feel we as a society ask ourselves enough. It's like more so, I can't do that, or who am
Right.
I to do this
You
thing?
start off negative.
Yes, and that mindset kind of follows, just like the lesson in being present will follow
Right.
you. That
Oh yeah.
negative mindset feels like it follows well, I can't post that. I'm not going to get views, or I'm not going to get
Oh
this
yeah.
job, or I'm not going to get this thing. So I'm not going to do that. And it's like you
Negative
said,
self-talk.
yeah, who am I to withhold the gifts that God has bestowed upon me, to be like, well, just seeing you work has probably motivated so many people that you don't even know. You know what I mean? And by us not actually working in our purpose, or even working toward learning more about ourselves, it's like we're kind of wasting away and not really working
Yeah, I mean,
to
because
produce anything.
no, I'm sorry. Yeah, you said it again, produce. Say it
Yeah,
again.
working to produce the work, of the gifts that we were given, because all of our
Right.
gifts can produce a work. And whether that work is, tangible or intangible, we all have works that we can produce. So it's really just awe-inspiring to see somebody who's so driven. But I wanted to ask you, is this more of an external or motivation, or when did motivation turn into discipline? Because there were days where you were probably feeling like, man, I don't want to do this. You talked about depression, you talked about anxiety and things of that nature. Like, there's going to be times, in life, we're going to be roller coastering all the way. So how do you deal with those days when you don't want to do it?
Um. Well, it's different when, I mean, so we're adults, right? So we do things we don't want to do all the time.
All the time. I don't want to
So
pay bills.
literally, probably about 60 to 80%. I ain't gonna say that. Well, it's two things. One, I'm gonna start making T-shirts, but one thing I've thought about a lot
Mm-hmm.
is you already woke up.
Mm.
You were already in a position where you could like just say F it and just go ahead and go where you need to go. You see what I'm saying? Because that's your most vulnerable state. You're in hibernation. But you woke up. So you already made a choice to be here. Right?
Right,
So
right.
what? So in other words, it don't really, I mean, I understand the whole discipline, all that, man. That's great. I'm not gonna always be good. I've had days where I've looked around and be like, you gotta be crazy. I walked in my garage. I'm the one who took the car apart. I'm like, man, I must be crazy. And I probably am. I think I am. But discipline to me. is one doing you got so in other words, you learn from what you got to do because we've already been programmed from when we started going to school as far as like what time to eat, what time to do this, what time to that. Even
Mm-hmm.
though we need to scratch most of that. But you already got that
Woo!
programming. So since you already know how to be programmed, this is what I'm trying to tell you about the thing. See the whole in the field, tend the crops thing.
Mm-hmm.
The um the synapses in your brain are learning. Okay, we know how, in other words, whatever the task is, it could be a completely different task, but you do learn how you work. You learn how
Mm,
your brain works. You learn how when you come to a problem, how do you react? Do I get upset? That doesn't help anything. I've done
yeah.
that. Actually, when I just did the whole car, I just did the header and exhaust thing. I thank God for my growth as far as patience, because I only worked on that car in 20 to 25-minute intervals, which means that if I went there and I needed to do something and I didn't have the right tool and I had
Mm-hmm.
to find a tool and it took 20 minutes, guess what? It's time for a break. But we don't, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you're not versed in how you work, because you used to working for somebody else.
Right.
So now you work. So the problem is we so used to working for somebody else for a little bit of money. Then when it's time to work for you, you ain't got no energy. You don't have no energy. You see what I'm saying? But you making money over there for them. Are you gonna make money for you? That's the question. So the discipline is, nah, I'm not gonna always just do it for someone else for a piece of paper that is continually depleting in value.
Mm.
Because my value keep going up to me. But everybody should feel like that. You don't never stop learning nothing. You can learn the wrong, but you don't never stop
That's true.
learning.
I think that that's a good point in knowing that your value should be.
Continually.
We're gonna pray for some of these people, but
Continually.
your value should be continually going up, regardless
Right.
of what stage you are in life. Whether you are in the fifth grade or you are 86, your value should be continually going up. And if you keep putting out work for this dollar or whatever the exchange is, and the exchange is not matching your value, then you really have to refocus that energy, that discipline, that motivation into creating a work that's going to give you the same return as the energy you put into it.
If you're in that position, you have to learn how to compartmentalize the energy that you put out. As far as the energy that you put out, it has to be equal from the outside eye. But you have to maintain your inner focus, and the biggest thing I'll say, it's gonna sound weird. Come from the back, and what that means is make sure you're centered. Don't when I say that there's a difference between coming from the front and coming from the back. Come from the front. What I'm saying is like when you just either you're blurting something out or like you're antsy. You know what I'm saying? But
Okay.
not
Hmm.
necessarily. You haven't thought it through.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because, like I say, if you're in these positions where you're being overworked, African Americans overwork anyway because we feel like we have to,
Right.
right? So,
That's when we
but guess what?
start being feeling like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
overworked. Well,
it
I'm
ain't
equal to
gonna
this
do
person.
nothing. It ain't gonna
Yeah.
do nothing. And you're getting paid less.
Yeah.
So the point is, do the job, but also don't let it mentally. See, that's where the spiritual growth has to come in. You can't let it mentally get to you.
Hmm.
From one of the other things you just said earlier, my grandmother is seven. We're talking about continually learning. My grandmother is 78 at this point. Unfortunately, right now she's in the hospital second time in 2.5 weeks with COVID. She has
Oh, wow.
COPD, congestive heart failure, diabetic, and high blood pressure. That lady reads 100 pages a day, and she colors. I can't. I just.
Listen.
I can't read 100 pages a day. No, and she's in her right mind. Don't get me. She still talk all kinds of trash and everything, but she can read. Do you know? See the problem. Listen, multitasking is a problem. These are the things that I've learned in this whole me doing too many projects at my house and all that. Stop multitasking.
I wholeheartedly
Multitasking
agree.
multitasking is doing a whole bunch of things a little bit at a time. Your brain can literally only think about something at once. If you go to something else, you just stopped and went to the other thing.
Mhm.
But you feel like you're doing more, but you're not. You're not. You're moving slower. But I wasn't able to read 100 pages. I was like, man, I gotta buy a few books. Like my grandma said that she killing me. I ain't doing nothing. I'm playing games. You see what I'm saying?
Listen,
I bought Inward. I bought Stop Overthinking. This is all David Banner's books that he just put on Instagram a little while ago. I read one of them. And Clarity and Connections, very good books. Very good books. But yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to get that in there.
no, I appreciate when we have the ability to have our elders present with us
Yeah.
because we can actually learn from that.
Oh
Like
yeah.
there's so much wisdom that we tend to as a society throw away because we feel like, oh, let's just put them away,
Right.
whatever, send them off, assisted living, whatever the case may be. But there's so much wisdom in even just having conversations on a regular basis. And
Also it's the visual. In other words, while everybody's running around trying to figure out what's making them happy, this particular lady has a unfortunate life sentence. She's taking it like a G,
mm,
and she's able to sit down and read 100 pages in peace. See, I'm really just talking about peace. That's
yeah,
all I'm talking about. Because we don't. It's hard to find
I don't. I still trip out when people are just like, man, I just want to be happy, and it's like, but happiness is
you.
one extreme on the spectrum. And
Yeah.
if you keep going, pleasure, 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 happy, happy,
Mm-hmm.
happy, ecstatic, and all these other things, then what's going to happen when you come down?
Right. And
And then
and
you're
how hard is that
always,
fall?
oh my gosh,
How hard is
you're
that
like, I
fall?
can only imagine like what it's like for people who are always chasing that next high.
Right.
And it's
Right.
like, you can never just, that's what when I find hard about some people in our generation are too busy trying to outwork the older generation and try to be up like the younger generation. It's like sometimes you just need to sit down and figure yourself out.
Yeah,
like like
because
just take a
we're in
beat.
the middle. So I
Yeah.
definitely realized how much in the middle we are, because
Hmm.
I can just tell, like, as far as like the technology age is, or like the really and truly all of social media stuff is a little bit after us.
Yeah, because I think
And
I was
because I
in
can just
high
like I
school when
huh
MySpace was a
yeah,
thing. Was
like
it? Yeah.
we were there when it was first coming.
Yeah.
I remember. But now, in other words, they're attached. Like my sister's 12. Like literally now, when I do my stories, it's a lot of times it's for her. Because my little sister watches everything I do. She has her own like YouTube set up. She does her own videos, all this kind of
Oh,
stuff, and she watches everything I do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna continue when I feel the need to. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Yeah. But no, yeah, our generation is I agree, because like if you keep on chasing you can't, number one, chasing the money is just pointless, because you're really not happy unless money just make you that happy, and then you'll learn later that because then you can just be by
Yeah.
yourself with a whole lot of money.
It doesn't, like, money is not going to, yes, money does solve a lot of problems. It solves a lot of problems,
Right.
but when it comes to feeling that void, that
It
emptiness,
don't do
that
nothing.
it can't even touch it.
I
You can
speak from
throw as much
experience.
money on it as you want. You can have all the clothes, the cars, the house. If you
None of
don't
it.
have that inner peace,
That
nothing around you is going to be right, no matter how expensive anything is that you have on, or expensive that the house that you're sitting in or the car that you drive
it don't matter.
is
It
is
doesn't matter.
not. Like, having that inner peace is very important. But it's like, it's great because I get to connect with more people who are more in line with that way of thinking. And I wanted to kind of know, did your circle change as your
Mm,
mindset shifted?
yeah. Well, my circle started to change when I had surgery.
They were like,
So,
"Ooh, again? Okay, let me not." Okay.
well, no, you're fine. So the long story short, all it is that, see, when I was younger, I was a young engineer. When I was in Chicago, we're out every weekend, right?
Uh huh.
When I moved to Houston, I purchased a house. I didn't want to, I didn't want to. I was through the apartments and stuff. I wanted to like start investing and all that. So long
Okay.
story short, when you're not on the scene or when you're not around, when you're not always out, you start to see how people. I'm in Beaumont, like I'm in Port Arthur, actually, at my dad's house for 8 months. So you lose a lot of relationships, and if you lost those relationships, you didn't really need them.
Mm,
You see what I'm saying? Because they
yeah.
were what they call fair weather friends.
Yep.
So that was the first realization of the change, and like I said, my mental state kind of changed at that point anyway, towards like like death gonna come. Like I see how close you can really get. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been close a few, 'cause I have asthma as well, so I've had all the issues throughout the years. But my mental the people, you reduced it down to what's important. And you keep, I think it's important. All people are important, but the friends that are most important are the ones that you don't have to talk to all the time. The one I'm just being real. If I
Oh
gotta talk to you
yes.
every day, we're not real friends. Oh, why are you doing that? Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you.
Oh, okay, I came back. Oh, I got like someone. Anyway, so long story short, if you're losing friends because y'all not talking or y'all not hanging out all the time, they not real friends.
That's
Some of my
true.
best friends don't even. Michigan, Saint Louis, like everybody is scattered. Like the only people I talk to on a daily basis is my brother and my dad and my mom. That's pretty much it.
But do you think
Um,
that I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
no, no,
off.
no, you got it. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Do you think that has to do with the age that we're in? Because remember, we used to have house phones.
Oh,
And it was you wasn't on the phone all day, all night talking to your friends. So do
yo,
you think that it's that we're able to detach from technology and be like, look, I don't have to see you every day. I don't have to talk to you, but maybe, a few times a year, maybe once a month,
mm,
and we
I
can
think it's
kick
just
it
the
when we see each
age.
other.
But they got other people that aren't like that. They have people who it's nothing wrong. Listen, I put it like this: I don't care if you got 10,000 friends. Does it work for you?
Right.
For me, it doesn't, because they don't really, what I'm saying. Most people, I don't drink that much no more. I used to drink all the time. Well, it ain't good for me. It's not good for my I like I said, hydrogenated separativa. It's not good for that. Alcohol will produce inflammation. It's not good.
Mm.
So anything that produces inflammation, I pretty much stay away from it. For the most part, I try to, but I still like waffles and milk. But I'm just saying, every now and then, little syrup. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying. So, like, yo, I got people now that I ain't talked to, and they're more of acquaintance of friends. They ain't no bad blood. I just know what I'm doing. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And if we just so happen to meet up, or and whatever, oh, that's fine. But it's all about what you're doing, and are you gonna make it there
Mm.
on the path you on now? Are you gonna make it there with the amount that you go out? Are you gonna make it there with the? And there's nothing wrong with going out, but it all depends on how you balance, and
Right.
all this kind of stuff, right? So,
Right.
I mean, to be honest, I was very unbalanced the last 2 years. I was completely unbalanced because I
Mm.
was one. We were shooting podcasts. Um, my job was in full swing. I had to excel there. I had projects going on. My mom and dad would ask like, "Yo, when are you gonna rest?" I say, "When am I rest? I don't need a rest." Completely stupid. Completely wrong.
They said just take a
Completely
nap for a little while. Just take a nap. You'll be okay.
no, no. Complete like I'm like I know we're talking about multitasking. I know we're talking about jacks of all trades, but what I'm trying to describe here was my jack of all trade portion. Put like this. So wasn't Jesus all these different things when he was alive?
He was a
Right?
lot of different things. Yeah.
He was a carpenter, he was all that stuff, right? What is he now?
He's just to me.
No, no, yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
To me, Jesus is, I don't want to say, because having saying the Savior, saying the friend, saying the Lord of my life, like it's just
It's
like,
still one thing,
yeah, it's like he's one person or person that can do all these things. And so to
but
me it's just like he's the one.
yeah, but he's the one, right?
Yeah.
He can do all those things, but when you think about Jesus, the first thing you don't think about is all things he used to do. You think
Mm-hmm.
about what he do for you. He thinks
Right.
about he brings you peace. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He bring yeah. So it's all in that same vein. I'm definitely not Jesus. I'm not trying to compare myself. What I'm saying is when you go through these processes and you do all of these things, you realize what you like and what you don't like. You realize what feeds your soul. You realize, oh well, shit. I mean, I like working on this car, but yeah, number one, I'll tell you now, I don't like actually being underneath a 3,000 pound vehicle. Don't. It just saves money. You see what I'm saying? It saved me $2,000. I wanted to build a music studio. That's what I love. You see what I'm saying? So you moved them, but I wanted that done too. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So the point of it all is you do all these things for me, and you keep what's his name? Chronicles of Riddick. You keep what you kill, right? In other
Mm-hmm.
words, that's done. I got that badge. I got that like I'm in elementary school. I got that sticker. You see what I'm saying? I got that one. Put that on my board. You see what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
all these things add up to at some point there won't be nothing to do around which I'm very close. And all I'm gonna be doing is apparently being an engineer, saving money to buy more real estate, and making music. And eventually I'll start shooting podcasts again. But it has to go in the proper order of
Mm.
what feeds your soul. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
That's
couldn't
good.
do for music. For me, for music, you have to be in like a good quiet, not quiet, but like a peaceful spot. Can't be in a peaceful spot with all this stuff going. Like I gotta do all this stuff. And I'm supposed to be in here being cheery, making a beat. I can't make no beat in here when I got a car on four stands right now. But that's how my brain works. Everything got to be done.
So when you talk about being on this journey, on this path, toward getting your checklist done, and how many people you have surrounding you, and I see, you, and you talked about it before. Family is really big. Having friends is a good thing. When
Hmm.
you can have, I
Yeah.
feel it's more important to have the friends that you can be intimate with,
Right.
like the close friends where you're not spreading yourself across 30,000 people. But if you
One
have
time.
two or three good people that you're just like, yeah, like I'm investing in y'all investing in me, we work together, we move through stuff, and we know we're going to be there to support each other regardless if we talk every day, once a week, once a month, or whatever.
Right.
um how do you make sure that, or how do you hold yourself accountable, and how does your circle hold you accountable when you start going through your checklist or moving toward a goal? Is it something that you announce, or just a decision that you kind of make and you just do it?
I don't have that. I don't have the so I've always so my mom was a single mother.
Hmm.
She worked two jobs. She was a back in the day. She was a teacher's aide for BISD, and she worked at the gym as a the lady that like take care of the kids or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So she was doing those two jobs. I never had somebody be like, "Hey, get that shit done." It's all not saying that she didn't want me. You know what I'm saying? She was busy.
Hmm.
So you got to handle. I've been handling my business a long time. So since I've been handling my business a long time, I continued that. So the circle, most people I know don't care about none of the stuff I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? But it's not for them, and nor is it for them to care. The only person I really care about that sees it is my little sister because she's 12 and she has time to like really. In other words, if she develops that,
Hmm.
whatever job she gonna have to do, college, whatever, all that good stuff is all great. But it's the development of the mentality that we were not afforded due to our upbringing and where we started at. Because there's just no way to get to Ivy League school from the hood. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get the
Yeah,
same teachings in public school that everybody else got.
that's true. So how so it's it feels like she impacts a lot of the decisions that you make as far
She
as
does.
what you show.
Oh no. She doesn't. So no. So my little sister's smart. She doesn't impact what I show. I just know that she's watching. So it's like even like we had a statement where it's like, ain't no point in me posting this. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Nobody,
Yeah.
because I know, like literally, I have friends have told me, yo, when you start doing all that, yo, whenever you start working, I just skip. I'm like, that's fine. Like, man, when you cooking, that's lit. But when you start working on shit, man, I don't understand none of that. Man, I ain't got time for that. And that's fine. I'm
I
not
was over there learning pipes. Oh, this is a 3/4 inch. I don't even know how he measured that. But okay, let's
Yeah,
figure out
like,
how to put
but
some
if you
pipes
would have
together.
watched, you would have learned, and then when it happened at your house, you wouldn't even have to worry about that. I'm really
Right.
and truly, if everybody would look at what I did last few years, people would have had like a nice little understanding of things that would have saved you all kinds of money. I put a furnace in my house myself, which is in the attic. It's very heavy. I had to build a whole, like a levering system like on the cartoons to get it out the
Oh
attic,
my gosh.
and had to like lower it down. But the point, I saved $3,300 on that. Okay, the furnace costs. This is why it's important. A furnace costs $700. Didn't know that. I had already troubleshot it. Motherboard was out. It was just old. Blah blah blah. All the good
Hmm.
stuff. The guy, I said, well, let me call a guy. I done tried everything I can. It's cold as shit in here. He come. It's $78 to get him to like do a assessment. He said, "Man, you did almost everything. You could probably replace it." I said, "Well, how much replacement cost?" He said 4,000 plus tax. I laughed. I said, "Come on, bro." I said, "Well, I said, come on. How much is the actual furnace itself?" He said, "You going on eBay for $785." I said, "Here's just $78." But if we continue, what I'm saying is, look, we all look. I'm not that fortunate to say I got extra money. I'm not. I'm not. I don't know if I don't really care about money itself, but I'm not fortunate enough to say that I have extra. So with
I
that
don't know
being
anybody who
said,
has extra.
come
Look,
on. I
if I
mean,
meet somebody who has extra, I'll let you know. But
Bezos got extra. He went to the edge. He didn't just go to space. He went to the edge of space. I didn't know you could get there. How you get to the edge? You didn't tell nobody else how to get there. All right. But what I'm saying is, I don't have no extra money. So what I be trying to show people is like, look, man, look, I cut my own hair. Hey, haircuts not for men, nothing like women. It's $40, $50 now. I said, come on, man. Hey, get you a pair of clippers. Unless you're going somewhere extremely important. $50. My cousin got his hair cut. It was $40. I said, Bobby, what he did? Oh yeah, I just get an all even. All even with a zero guard. I said, well, Dave, I said, do you at least like take care of your face? Oh yeah, that's extra. Are you serious? You better not ever tip him. You got me wrong. Hey, come on, bro. Y'all playing games. So all I'm saying is, I'm. It gotta be fun at some point because I say a lot of stupid stuff. The point is that time, money, that's one thing. But now I'm easing into this other realm of okay, I had literally burned myself out. I didn't even know because I got so hooked. Not hooked. I got hooked. I got hooked on completion. I got hooked on like because it's just something about literally. It was something about doing this.
Like,
That
oh,
was it.
that's done. Oh, that's done.
Up, that's done. Up, that's done. But then I'm exhausted though. I didn't even. And then you start to when you actually start to get rest, you'll realize like, wow, like I was not there. That I wasn't there. I missed a lot. How much did I miss? And then you start looking around. And now we're talking about not over ambition, but we're talking about is getting lost. Like we were talking about chasing the money. We was talking about like trying to make more money. In other words, I was doing that, but not trying to make more money. I'm just trying to get to the position I want to be in by overworking, by getting it, doing it all. Not smart. I don't recommend anybody work harder, work smarter. Don't work harder, work smarter. Right? My
Mm-hmm.
thought process was, hey, I'm gonna clear it. I'm gonna get it all done. Not smart. So doing that, doing all these projects, it leads to, in other words, the time and the energy has to come from somewhere. Towards you only have so much energy,
Right.
right? So the time, your energy and your time has to come from some part of your life. So whether that's your love life, whether that's your friendships, whether that's any of these things, right? It's gonna come from your rest, is gonna come from there. And when it's time, when you look around, I hope it's enough time for you to get those things back. Or to like I said, we talking about the person who, let's say, makes all this money, all this good stuff. 10, 30 years down the line, you look back, all you got is that cash. And it's, like I said, depreciating. Unless you put it in the stock market, crypto market, or Forex. So
So how do you recoup after you realize, yo, I'm burnt out. I need to take a nap. Maybe I'm not as present as I need to be.
I didn't know. I really didn't know. I think I had a wake up call. So this year I had, so with all the stuff that I probably that you saw me do and all this kind of stuff. I don't show much about my job, but I wasn't off from work until, probably I think like May June time frame. Like I didn't take any time off until that. I only took 2 days off. I didn't realize how much of a different person I had become until I went to Miami, because that was my chance to not. I was nowhere near my house, so I couldn't do anything at my house. Because so in other words, you gotta understand, with COVID and everything, it already kind of forced people inward unless you just was acting stupid. And I
Right.
had COVID in Finland right when COVID like literally first hit, and I almost got stuck in Finland. Um, and so I knew it. I knew to deal with COVID, and even on my podcast, I was preaching like, "Yo, this is a good time for everybody to really get stuff done, really dig in, blah blah blah." And I started doing that because I had so much of a backlog of things due to me not due to me. Well, actually, I was more balanced back then. I was more balanced like 3 years ago. But long story short, when I went to Miami, I was away from everything, and I was
Mhm.
like, man, and I was like, oh shit, I missed, like, the other parts of myself, being goofy, you know, uh, telling jokes, dancing, all this kind of stuff, different, different friends, all this kind of stuff, right? And I was like, dang, what happened to that? Where did it go? You could lose it too. Like, what they say, don't use it, you lose it. I mean, you don't
Mhm.
lose it, but it's like your brakes going out. You don't realize that you can possibly could be becoming different until you're already there. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it's not good because, I mean, yeah, I mean, put like this, I got addicted to that, or like I really like that. But after that's done, that's just like what we was talking about, the money or the cars and all that kind of stuff. That's
Mhm.
still not peace. Because peace is that shit need to be done over there. I don't care. I'm gonna do that when I feel like it. But I'm gonna do it. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? But that's the self. You have to know yourself too. You see what I'm saying? You have
Right.
to have the confidence that you're going to get it done at the proper time interval. But right now, I'm doing this, and I'm okay with that. That's important.
I had
Was
another
that too much?
question. I had another question and I completely lost
Come
it.
on. But yeah, like
Ah.
but like long story, and these things are important because I'm trying to get people to understand, really and truly, I wasn't at peace. I don't think I never act like I was,
Mhm.
but I realized it. And I realized like the the issues of anxiety, the issues of depression, the issues of all these things. These things were a way for me not to think about others. I mean, it's COVID outside. You see what I'm saying? I know I gotta get this stuff done anyway. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Let me get all this stuff done. That way, when everything opens up or whatever, when everything's like normal, I can do. But along the way, man, the losses were great. The losses were great, and we slowly try to recoup what we can.
Mm-hmm.
May not get everything back, but you know, you do what you can.
Well, I absolutely appreciate this conversation. I
Do
really
you?
thank you. I do. I think this is a really great conversation because a lot of people get stuck in trying to do everything, be everything, copy everybody, pick what's hot, what's trending. Everybody wants to be a lawyer, everybody wants to be a doctor, everybody wants to be an engineer or this person or that person. I want to be the person on stage without really finding, that center part of what makes them at peace. Whether
Right.
you're working or whether you're sleeping, you should be at peace in whatever you're doing.
Hmm.
And I mean, not saying that we don't get stressed or stressful times are not going to come, but I do think it's important that we have that peace. So
Oh
this
yeah.
conversation really just kind of, shine light on that aspect instead of just, well, yeah, I can do everything, be everything. It doesn't really matter. Whatever I need to do, like I can do it. Not saying that I thought this was that conversation that we were going to have, but some people get stuck in, yeah, I can do whatever, like whatever it is, I can do whatever, it doesn't matter. But that cockiness really can lead to a lot of people being addicted to the wrong thing and the wrong having the wrong reason and wrong motivation behind what it is or why it is what they do.
Also, the other part of what I was saying, if we really tie it back to the beginning, I was telling you about the 3/16 of an inch,
Mm-hmm.
and I was telling you about how you have to go now I have to buy more wood. I wasn't present. Same thing happens with. I'm like I said, yeah, I can be considered a jack of all trades. Um, I'll say a few things. One, I hope that the jacks of all trades are better than me. And when I say that, like my dad is a perfectionist, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
this dude, when I was living in Chicago, this dude came to my apartment. I thought, you clean up because your parents coming over.
Yeah.
Hey man, you've got the top of the refrigerator.
Why are you even looking up there?
Why are you
Who
up there,
who
sir?
told you to go
Why are
up
you up
there?
there? Did you have to get a step ladder? What are we doing? So
Nobody, why, first of all, nobody told you to look at baseboards. Nobody told you to look at the
nobody
top of the
did.
refrigerator. I need you
Oh,
to just come sit down on the couch, look at
right.
the TV. I gave you something to drink. The glass is clean. Juice is good. Enjoy it.
There
Stop
you
looking
go.
at everything else.
Yeah. So I'll say this. I appreciate I appreciate the gift that God gave me. And the only gift that it is, one of the biggest gifts is following directions. Like, I mean, one of it is following directions and not having fear. But
Mm,
that's the learning. Follow directions. Because if you everything that you want to do has directions.
yeah.
And it takes not having fear.
I want you to stop shouting to my spirit right now. I
I'm
really want you
sorry.
to stop shouting at
I'm
me.
just saying, but
Like, I
that's what
heard
all
you,
this stuff.
Lord, when you said it the first time last week. You don't need to tell Chase to tell me to. Like, I got it.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's like it's not like I said, it's never what I'm doing. It's the lesson. And what I'm telling you, I'm telling you this right now. I'm just thinking about it right now. But that's what I'm saying. That's the point of being with yourself.
Yeah.
That's the point of understanding what you're trying to put out. You see what I'm saying? So multitasking is not it. Being a jack of all trades is great. I hope all jacks of all trades are better than me. Because what I realize is, yeah, it's cool. But I rather pick maybe 5 things. I maybe do about 30, 40, 50 things right now.
Hmm.
That's great. Who cares? But and them five though, I want them to be, in other words, music. You know what I'm saying? In other words, it's like I'm not just doing things no more because it's easy. You see what I'm saying? Oh, I can do that. It's easy. It
Mm-hmm.
takes energy. It takes time. What in your life do you want to do that requires more energy and time, and you're not doing it because it's hard for you, and you do something else that's easy, but it don't fulfill you the same way.
Right.
So I'd rather, okay, so now it's like, well, damn, when I turn 60, 70 years old, and maybe I'm just, coloring and reading 100 pages a day, I don't want to look back and be like, yeah, I did all that stuff. It was easy. That's not the proper send off for a
Right.
person like me. So, with that being said, I would rather do what's hard.
So what 5 things? Because I gotta know. What 5 things would you be good at?
Nope. But understand that if I say it like this, if I did what I did and you've seen what I've done already, those will be very, very, very much so more thought out. In other words, if you're spreading yourself so thin
Hmm.
and you can still put out a quality product, still excel over here for these people. Thank God, I appreciate it. Unfortunately, it killed a lot of stuff on this side of my life, right?
Hmm.
And then I put out, I had had put out good content when it came to podcasting. I was at one point I had two shows and I was producing the third, got them to the radio while working on a $4 billion project. So with that being said, okay, that's great, and I'm not like, understand this is not me talking noise or like trying to be some type of guy. What I'm saying is, if you can do those things, what can you do? As I said earlier, what can you do for yourself
Hmm.
that you're not doing? And that's that.
And
When I
life
asked
lesson.
myself that, I had to like sit down. I had to really sit down and be like, man, I gotta. I literally stopped doing everything. I stopped everything for like. So after Miami, I stopped everything. Well, I'd already like stopped, but then I even paused from the projects because I needed time to be rested, and I needed time to reflect and really just be with self and see what self liked.
So important. If we're not going to focus on doing, if we're only going to do the easy things, always take the easy way out. Always
Yep.
focus on what's easy.
Yep.
There's going to be as much fulfillment as eating Skittles every single day.
Right. Oh, I did that today.
It's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't
Took me
grow.
it took me 5 minutes. Yeah, I've
Yo,
done it
I
a
used to be
thousand
a
times.
personal trainer. I was
Yeah.
a when I first moved to Houston, electrical engineer, personal trainer, doing both of them. But it ain't okay. I knew how to do it. I knew how to get myself in shape. I had a number of clients. It was cool. It wasted a whole lot of time.
Mm.
I didn't really need that money. I liked seeing people see what it is. It's still a learning experience. What I learned was I like seeing people improve. Podcasting. I love podcasting. But what I love about podcasting is not the every week status update about what's going on in the world. It's the open conversation that could possibly give somebody a breakthrough or vice versa. Us having an open topic, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? And discussing that and then coming to a conclusion that may have changed somebody's mind for the better or help somebody. That's what it's for. I appreciate that lesson. You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Chase, for having a conversation with me. Can you tell the people where to find you?
Um, King Callen P on Instagram, King Callen P TV on YouTube. We're gonna be uploading some more stuff there, different content coming, probably stuff y'all never seen before. And yeah, still it drops when it drops. That's on Instagram. It drops when it drops. It's on YouTube as well. Have probably about 15, 16 long episodes on there, like 3 hours. I'm sorry, but good content if you want to listen to it.
Hey,
Also had Houston I'm Just Saying podcast, about 45 episodes on that one, maybe a little bit more, 46. I'll be the guy sounding old with the two young ladies. And yeah, that's good enough. Yep. Oh yeah, I was. I'm like, they were like, oh, okay, Chase, we get it. We get it. We get it. God dang. I'm like, all right, y'all asked me a question.
I'm just letting y'all know. I'm just letting y'all know. But thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Take a Space Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Take a Space Podcast. Please make sure to follow us at Take a Space Pod. That's Take a Space POD on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure that you follow us on YouTube at Champions of Discourse. We'll upload the video version of the podcast, and you will be kept up to date. Make sure that you especially follow us on Instagram because that's where you get the first news of anything that happens with the podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've been Leah. Thank you so much, Chase. Y'all have
Thank
a
you.
great one. Peace.
Good job.